but of course the major concern is human loss. I mean, do you know if there were many people in the building?
Another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building, and there's been another collision. Can you see it on the shot?
Oh my.
Something else has
You know
just
what? We just saw a plane circling the building. We just saw a plane circling the building a second ago on the shot right before
I
that.
think there may have been another impact. Can you tell? I just heard another very loud bang, and a very large plane that might have been a DC-9 or a 747 just flew past my window, and I think it may have hit the Trade Center again.
Well, when those planes hit on 9/11, our director of this special was directing at that very moment for NSNBC, just a few miles from Ground Zero. Curtis Tate of Louisville, finding himself in the middle of covering an attack on American soil, while many of his co-workers feared the worst for friends and family.
All of a sudden you saw this, you just saw it fall.
After several hours of emotionally draining coverage, when that first tower came down, everything changed for Curtis and all those working alongside him at MSNBC.
You could just hear no. I mean, it just rang out throughout the whole control room. There was crying and sobbing and people trying to call people that they knew were working down in that area.
It became paramount for most everyone at MSNBC to let loved ones know they were safe.
I remember running back and forth to my workstation because I was afraid that my friends back here in Louisville or my family were trying to call, and the cell service was just shot. So everybody was trying to shoot out emails.
For Curtis, days of non-stop coverage turned into weeks of driving by Ground Zero on his way to work.
And there was just this big conflagration of smoke and ash, and you saw that every day.
About 10 days after 9/11, Curtis remembers a surreal experience while eating dinner in a typically noisy Greenwich Village restaurant when the president addressed Congress and the nation.
But we were eating dinner and the whole dining room stopped. And during that whole speech, it was total quiet, total silence, because everybody wanted to hear the president speak about this. And so that's a moment that I'll never forget.
And on this 10th anniversary, 9/11 specials will be on just about every network. But Curtis says for him, it's still too much to bear.
You don't want to relive it. You don't really need to relive it. So I try not to, you know, whenever I just turn the channel.
Now, Curtis visited Ground Zero a couple of days after the attack with friends in the police department, and one other time when some friends from Louisville visited him in New York. And while he often goes back to the New York City area, he said he won't go back until Ground Zero is rebuilt. Those buildings are up and New Yorkers can show their resiliency.
Well, pictures and memories are all that's left for loved ones of the 9/11 victims.
This was taken 7 days prior to the 11th.
Connie Leonard shows us how Coach Rick Pitino was making sure his brother-in-law's memory was on.
And even though a local firefighter can't show his support,